So after so long of tussling over the adjective for Brexit, it looks like it's going to be a hard Brexit. Will that clean break be good for the UK?
Well, I think the only thing to welcome about today's announcement is that for the first time we have some clarity about the intentions of the UK government following Brexit. Up to now, all we've had is empty platitudes. Now we know, though, that they want to go for the most extreme option possible for Brexit, and that would mean leaving the single market as a member, and also the customs union. Now, for an economy such as the economy of my country, Wales, we're an exporting nation. We actually have a significant trade surplus, an economy reliant on manufacturing largely. Moving those goods into the single market is vitally important for us. They say around 200,000 jobs in Wales are sustained by our memberships of the single market and the customs union. This is deeply worrying news that we've seen from the UK Prime Minister today. It's quite clear that she's not put in the economic interests, the jobs and wages of the people of my country first.
But by trying to keep that toe in, half out measure that she was warning about a couple of hours ago, doesn't that leave the door open for the punitive measures that she was warning about there, that other EU nations will be able to start to pick and choose what they want, that by making a clean break, at least Britain can start again?
Well, firstly, of course, there was nothing on the referendum paper saying that we were going to cut loose in terms of our economic ties. It was about the political union, and we all accept that result. But the reality is, it must be a key strategic objective now, following Brexit, to ensure that the economic damage is as minimal as possible. Now, she seems to be making the case for a free trade agreement between the British state and the European Union. Now, let's work through how long that's going to take. We know that the divorce proceedings will take around a year and a half. It could take at least 5 years, maybe 10 years for that new trade deal to come in place. I mean, if you're going to go down that road from the European side, that means it'll be what they term a mixed agreement, which means that the 27 remaining members of the European Union will have a veto, including some regional influences. And if you just look what happened to Canada with their proposed trade deal with the European Union, that was vetoed by Wallonia, a region of Belgium. Now, it seems to me that we're charting a course for some very choppy, uncertain and very dangerous economic seas, and I think the Prime Minister today has definitely put the ideologues, the extremists within their own party and UKIP, their narrow obsessions before the wider economy, and I think that's very, very worrying.
A lot of people are going to say this is saying something and nothing, that idea that Britain should leave the single market but have the greatest access to it. It's having your cake and eat it. How is that even going to work in practice? Aren't the other EU nations going to go, hang on, how can you leave and still have everything we've got?
Well, exactly. That's a statement of fact. We know that the EU are clearly saying that you can't have the same terms if you decide to leave the single market as a full member. That would fundamentally undermine single market membership. And the reality is, there are going to be significant economic headwinds as a result of the decisions that's been made today. I've referred to it as the biggest job-killing act in Welsh economic history, and I think that should be a sober realisation for everybody in Wales and the UK.
And just quickly, what about the other EU members? Who do you think is going to blink first? Just quickly.
Well, I think, essentially what we're seeing from the UK government, especially with some of the, headless chicken rhetoric we saw today in terms of the threats that you'll turn the UK into a casino economy. We've got a Prime Minister playing kamikaze poker when her opponents hold all the cards. That's very worrying for jobs and wages in Wales.
OK, good to talk to you. Jonathan Edwards, MP for Plaid Cymru.